everybody, it's your boy Jack here. Welcome to the Walking Dead Season 8 Episode 5 recap review and rant series I do here on the YouTube, because why not? Today I'm going to be talking about the Walking Dead Season 8 Episode 5 titled The Big Scary You. Along with that, I'm going to be talking about next episode and what's going to happen with Season 8 Episode 6 titled The King, the Widow, and the Rick. I actually love that name though, honestly. Just before we get started, on the recap and review part here, I want to let you know that every Sunday on my Instagram, I release my favorite line from last week's episode. But today on this video, like I do every Thursday, I put out the favorite line from this week's episode, and it's this one. That line reads, "I'm not just your king. I'm not your king. I'm just some guy." I love that episode. King Ezekiel read that. And I think that Season 8 Episode 4 was a really great episode. But let's dive into Season 8 Episode 5 here. I'm so happy that Negan's back. Oh my god, I can't, that's the thing. I feel like this episode's such a great episode, but it's like, it shouldn't have just been a whole episode. I feel like this episode could have been really beautifully displayed in the first 3 episodes. I would have loved to see it, like, the monologue between Negan and Gabriel would have been such a great monologue to have. The one thing I'm going to say about this episode overall is the thing that I feel that could have been done a lot better is the fact that they could have split this episode up in the first 3 or 4 episodes, really, in order to contradict the idea of what they were building in the first 3 or 4 episodes with, like, the attack on the outpost, the attack with the attack on the Savior outpost, the attack on everybody, and everybody going to war in the different outpost battles. I really feel like a lot of this would have been really beautifully displayed as a really clear opposition, having Negan's perspective, having some of these saviors in the sanctuary, their perspective. I really like that they chose this really great pairing with Father Gabriel and Negan. I think that was such a great pairing to have. This being, since that these two people are very similar yet very different. We see that in this episode. The idea of Negan being like, well, I'm here to sort of help people. That's what I've been doing all my whole life, like being a teacher and everything. And like he sort of demonstrates the idea of the importance of having a leader there, like the importance of him being a leader in his own right, and why him and the way he's been leading the saviors is really that important. Overall, though, that's the thing I'll say is that's really where there's a huge connection there with Father Gabriel, someone who is a man of faith and really is someone that is faithful to everything. I found that really interesting on how they did that and everything. Overall, I'm really happy that Negan's here in this episode. I love Negan. I love how Jeffrey Dean Morgan portrays Negan. And I love that really Father Gabriel and Negan have this whole relationship where Father Gabriel's trying to get confession out of him, trying to figure out everything, trying to figure out who this guy is. And in a way, it's a confession of his sins, yet you have Father Gabriel do the exact same thing. And I think Father Gabriel is RIP's gonna die. Unfortunately, I feel like the way the series is going currently in this season at this moment, the world that they are going to be building and everything is one that Father Gabriel could be really seen as a really important person in, but essentially right now in war, Father Gabriel really isn't an important character. It's important to have someone like Rosita, Tara, Jesus, Maggie, these important characters right now as sort of as more important characters rather than Father Gabriel, who really hasn't been shown on a lot. The one thing I'll say about Father Gabriel is I would have loved for them to take Father Gabriel's psyche and everything in season 5 and sort of clash it with the whole clear psyche that Morgan has, where he's sort of goes off into a whole serial killer rant. And I really thought that would be really cool to see. I feel like Gabriel. I love that because there could have been so much done in the end of season 5, beginning of season 6, but nothing really happened there. And yeah, I just feel like I love Father Gabriel. I feel like they could have done so much with this character, but it does make sense at this point in time to kill him off. Overall, though, as well, I think that I really just do like Father Gabriel in the comics, him being sort of the priest, and whenever somebody dies, they would be in the church and everything. He would sort of say his piece, that kind of thing. And I feel like that's one thing I really liked about Father Gabriel as a character in the comics, and I just felt like they poorly developed him on screen in the show. That I just feel like the development really has been inconsistent and really hasn't been there. It really just was there in season 5, a bit in season 6, and he was sort of there as a background secondary character. So yeah, it is sort of sad to see him go. It looks like he was bitten in the Walker shuffle that happened. So yeah. Moving forward, let's talk about my favorite character of this episode, Mr. Negan. Oh, I love him. I feel like he's such a great character. All the lines that he says and everything. I really like how they did that. On point, on fleek. I love it. I love his view on the Saviors, that he's sort of like, these people are going to die because I'm not there to save them. And you see that. And it's sort of like, well, the thing is with Simon, isn't Simon the quote-unquote right-hand man? Why wouldn't he be the new Negan, per se? And, like, lead the Saviors, lead the workers into that. And now it's like, and it sort of shows why this is so important. Because when you have a council and want someone leading it, there is an importance there of, like, when you cut off the head of the snake just sort of dies, basically. And that was really important to see, is, like, that whole importance of how Negan is important to the Saviors. Moving forward, too, I sort of like how, like, you see that with, like, the Saviors just throughout the whole series of, like, why he's so important, why everybody calls themselves Negan and stuff. And you just sort of see that whole, like, presence of him. I like how they did the backstory. I like that. I just hope that maybe in a future episode they either do what they've done in, like, season 5 and season 6, where they do sort of a backstory there for the character, but it's cut off, so you have, like, these two storylines about this one character, where you have one where it's, like, real time, one's, like, past time, and I really would love to see how that would work. And I feel like that would be really important to see, because Negan is such a great character in the comics. I sort of love it too, because, like, I feel like there's a lot of, like, fan fiction that you can write about and do in the show about him, and that's something I love about Negan. And yeah, overall, Negan is my favorite character at the moment. So yeah, along with that, let's dive into another character that was featured in this episode, Mr. Dwight. As I've said before, Dwight is needing to be the most important character. If you've seen it in my last episode, the episode before that, or any of the other episodes that you've watched, Dwight needs to be the melody in the Savior's storyline. He needs, if this Savior's storyline was a song, he needs to be the most important character here. Maybe besides Negan, per se, just because Dwight is sort of the rebelliousness to the Saviors. Like, he's the guy who's like, okay, well, I don't like this group. I don't like how it's being run. I don't like the way that society's being run right now. I sort of want to backstab them. I sort of want to betray them. And I like that part. I think it was important to see that and to show that. I like how he's trying to throw Eugene under the bus, because, like, I just like that. I think it's smart. I think it's, like, reasonable, expected. I'm liking that he's sort of laying under the radar, hiding his tushy, his butt, because, like, why not? And I think that's important for his character, just laying low and trying to communicate with Rick, communicate with Daryl or any of the other characters. He's not trying to be a leader and command authority, because he knows that there are other people trying to do that. And I think that was really smart in that idea of power dynamics and everything, in trying to keep his butt under the radar. It's going to be interesting to see what will happen between this whole, like, Eugene and Dwight, like, conflict that is sort of building to happen, because, like, Dwight is throwing Eugene under the bus. So yeah, but, like, Eugene's a character, like, I loved in the comics and hate on the show right now. But before we do, let's talk about this one sequence. Like, for those of you who've been watching the past few episodes, you know this. I genuinely want Daryl to be less in the show. Like, I think he's an important character, yes, but it's just, like, in this idea of war, in this idea of conflict and everything, I really don't like this whole Rick and Daryl grouping. Like, I feel like it's just too much to do. Like, there's too much there. Like, it's like, come on, I get what you're saying. I get this whole point here, that what you're trying to do is, like, pair them together. But it's like, I'm sorry, the comics, Rick is the leader. Rick is the person who is the main character here. Yet, like, I feel like we are fighting between Rick and Daryl here. It's like, I get Daryl is an important character, but like, like, why do we need to show that? Why do we need to show this whole storyline? I feel like it would have been so much better if it was a Carol-Daryl storyline rather than a Rick and a Daryl storyline. Like, that's just my opinion, because really, if it was a Carol-Daryl storyline, it would be interesting to have that conflict between Rick and Daryl. It would be really interesting to have that whole fight sequence with Daryl and Carol and, like, how that would have worked out. Overall, I feel like Rick would have been a lot more important being with Aaron, being with the other Alexandrians, fighting in the outpost battles, because I think that would have been a lot more of an important battle to have. That's just my opinion here. Sorry, I'm getting a bit heated. The only thing I liked about this whole Rick and Daryl storyline in this episode was the fact that, like, Daryl was trying to choke out Rick, because I think that was really important, because it shows how, like, he's becoming Daryl's becoming less and less humane. Like, I think he's getting a lot more, like, psychopathic in a sense, where he's like, okay, he's choking out Rick, someone who was his friend, someone who's like, he's his brother, essentially, choking out his brother, and it's like, it shows how, like, inhumane he is sort of becoming, and, like, I like that. I think it was smart, but it's like, you have that whole idea of, like, who to kill, like, who to be, like, which side do you need to be on, and it's like, I like that just because it showed, like, all of that, but it's also like, this is such a pointless storyline. Oh my god. Like, I personally, though, too, I would have really wanted to see maybe, like a really good pairing between Dwight and Daryl. I think that would be a really good pairing to have, like, a storyline in between them. And I hope that we may get to see that in the next half of the season, because obviously this season is coming to an end. So, yeah. That's just my opinion. Sorry, I'm just getting heated because it's, like, so much Daryl. Like, I'm sorry, but, like, what show is this? Is this The Walking Dead, or is this the Norman Reedus show? Like, no offense to Norman Reedus, I'm not gonna watch Ride. Like, I have no bias against you. It's just, like, there's too much Daryl for me to handle at the moment. I just don't think it's fair. I think it's really affecting the show, in my opinion. And yeah, that's about it. Just as an FYI to any Daryl fans, yes, feel free to hit that dislike button, because why not? And also as well, I don't have any, like, bias against, like, Norman Reedus and Daryl overall. I just feel like in this point in time, he doesn't need to be involved as much as he is at the moment. And I feel like maybe him being with another character rather than being with Rick would have done a lot better than this current storyline that's being had. So yeah. Okay. Give me a minute here. So yeah, let's talk about the predictions part of this video. Season 8, Episode 6 is titled The King, the Widow, and the Rick. Say that 5 times fast. So yeah, one thing I'm really hoping in this half of the episode is we see more Negan. I feel like this episode's really going to go everywhere in storylines. We're going to be seeing a lot of Michonne, Maggie with the hilltop, and Rick with the scavengers, because he sort of, like, wandered on his own journey and saw the helicopter that, like, I feel is real, but, like, I just don't like that it's real, because I feel like society isn't developing that far and that quickly. So yeah, overall, though, I feel like we're going to sort of see everything go everywhere. I think we're going to have maybe about 2 to 4 different storylines in this episode. It's going to get a bit busier. We're going to see Rick going to the scavengers or the garbage people, whatever they want to be called, basically Jadis and crew, and, like, talk to them, maybe try to negotiate peace in a way. And I'm interested to see how that's going to happen, but honestly, I don't think so. That's going to be where he gets captured and everything. I'm sort of excited to see how that's going to happen moving forward as well. I'm excited to see. I'm excited to see Carl. Obviously, Michonne was sort of like, okay, well, I'm going to leave you. You're gonna leave the kingdom. You're gonna leave the Alexandrian safe zone. You're gonna make sure this place is safe. You're gonna lead this like your father has. And, like, she put faith in him. And now he's sort of on his own journey, gonna go find the Sadiq type person, the guy who sort of, like, was in the premiere episode, now is in this episode. I'm excited to see that and how that journey sort of progresses. Like, I don't feel like Carl is gonna die. He's not one of those characters that are going to die. The only character I know right now that is gonna probably die is Gabriel, because he looked like he had a walker bite or got like ripped, like his leg got ripped off by a walker. I don't know, but yeah, like it looks like he's sort of meeting this guy. They're gonna maybe talk, maybe he's gonna. I feel like Carl is trying to negotiate and try to bring a new member into the safe zone. Along with that, Michonne and Rosita, they're sort of going on their own mission. I don't know where they're gonna go. They didn't show a lot. That's exciting though. I'm excited to see Rosita, and I'm excited to see Michonne, because I feel like these two characters are going to be really important. Like Michonne has a fight. She really initially was the one that kicked Rick in the butt to say, "Yo, let's go fight these MFers." Along with that, same with Rosita. She was very much like a key person. She was trying to assassinate Negan in season 7. And I'm excited to see how that's going to go as well. Like, honestly though too, as well, honestly, I'm so happy to see Rosita back, because like Rosita, on point. I'm happy with Rosita. I loved how she was developed in season 7, and like I'm happy she's getting shown right now, because I'm really excited to see how that's gonna go. I'm sad that, you know, she wasn't being put into the beginning outpost battles or anything, but like I can understand why. And I'm excited to see how her character will develop being in Alexandria, being stuck in the safe zone. I sort of want to see that kind of perspective there. And then along with that, lastly, but very much not least, the one thing that we were probably going to get shown in the episode is Maggie and the Hilltop. Maggie and the Hilltop, like there's going to be a whole sequence where maybe the Saviors break out, and like the Saviors that are prisoners right now, maybe they're going to go fight back against the Hilltop. But overall, like I'm sort of excited to see what's going to happen with these prisoners. It looks like one may break out or whatever, because he has like a rock he's trying to break the rope with. But I feel like that's the thing, like there's a whole like prisoners of war argument, and I'm excited to see how Maggie is going to do with that, and how the Hilltop's going to manage with that. I'm excited to see Maggie though, because like Maggie's the one leader that we've only seen once basically this season. So yeah, she's the only character that we've only really seen once this season. I'm excited to see, or like twice, but like yeah, but like we've barely seen, and I'm excited to see how she's going to react being the leader of the Hilltop, and everything. Overall, I'm excited. I'm happy to see what's going to happen. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. My name is Jack Skinner. Let me know what you think about this episode down below. Along with that, what do you think is going to happen about happen with the Walking Dead Season 8 Episode 6? What do you think is going to happen? I'm excited to see this episode. Maybe we'll get to see King Ezekiel and like his state of mind post the massacre of the Kingdom people, or like the Kingdom Knights, if you want to say. But yeah, I'm excited to see how that's going to happen, how that's going to break down. Let me know what you think about it down below. My name is Jack Skinner, and if you want to subscribe, boom, you can subscribe right there. You thought I was going to point there. I was stupid. But whatever. And if you want to see my previous episode, you check it out right about here. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. My name is Jack Skinner. You have a great night, and thank you so much for watching. Bye!